If you're switching component systems from Campy to Shimano or Shimano SRAM to Campy, you may be required to replace the Freehub body and maybe even the axle parts. There are several different iterations of compatibility now, especially with the new 11-speed Shimano, so please refer to the instructions at the beginning of this and online for which parts you need. But this video will show you essentially what steps you need to take apart the hub to replace the Freehub body. Step 1 is locate the access hole on the non-drive side of the rear hub. Through that access hole, you'll be able to loosen the 3 set screws on the adjustment collar using a 2mm Allen wrench. Just take the ball end of the wrench, go through the hole, and loosen each set screw about 1/4 of a turn. You don't want to go too far, because then you might end up backing that screw out into the hub shell. So just 1/4 turn does it. And once you've loosened those 3, you can pull out this end cap. If you're lucky, it'll just pop right out like that guy. If you're not lucky, you may have to take an M6 bolt, thread it into that end cap right there. Gives you something to grab onto. So you just grab it, pull it out. Set that part aside, the end cap aside, because you may need that depending on which conversion kit you're using. If you can also take out the collar. Makes things a little easier. If you can't get the collar out because it's a tight fit, don't worry, you can pull it out later. Now you'll be able to pull the Freehub body and the drive side axle out. You don't have to worry, there's no springs or anything that's going to launch out at you when you grab this. We do recommend though is taking a rag and putting that over the Freehub body before you grab it. It's a CNC Freehub body, could have some sharp edges on it. So grab the Freehub body with your rag and pull it through. Now your wheel would be over here, and this is the part that you may be replacing. So depending on which conversion kit you get, you may be just replacing the Freehub body, in which case you'll just slide that axle out. You'll swap the Freehub bodies out from Shimano to Campy, especially if you're doing 11-speed. Otherwise, you may be replacing the axle, which will come with your conversion kit. Either way, when you're putting the axle back in, put a little bit of grease or oil on this axle before you push it through, and you shove it back in. Now the most important part when you're reassembling it is the thrust washer, and this is the part that's easy to miss. There's a thin 0.5mm washer that goes between bearings on the Freehub body and in the hub shell. And depending how much grease you have, it actually may be stuck to the bearing on your Freehub body, or it could be stuck to the bearing inside the hub shell. Either way, you just need to make sure that you get that washer on the axle in between those 2 bearings. This is also a good time to make sure that your pawls and your springs are in good operating order. These are the pawls. Inside there's little springs, leaf springs right here, and there's 3 of them. Sometimes, depending on how old your grease is or other factors, when you pull the Freehub body out, the pawls may have actually stuck in the grease inside the hub shell. So just make sure you have all 3 pawls, all 3 springs in place, and then you can clean this out, add some more fresh grease. Once you've put the new Freehub body and the axle on, everything is greased up, go ahead and slide the axle through the hub shell. Make sure that the Freehub body is fully seated inboard and that it clicks normally. Then you reinstall the adjustment collar and the end cap. And now depending on which conversion kit you get, there may be a different end cap that came with your conversion kit. Now the process is just like as if you were adjusting your bearings. You can take a cassette lock ring tool and put it over the end cap and press down the collar. Once you've pushed that in, you don't need to hold pressure. You take your 2mm wrench and tighten those 3 set screws.